Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move we take up the additional reference of business and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the bill, resolutions on first reading, as well as communications and committee reports. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? The chair is none. The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of bills, resolutions, communications, committee report for first reading and to refer it to proper committees.
Additional reference of business, bills on first reading, House Bill 6749, promoting lifelong learning, providing for the establishment of community learning centers. Representative Benitez.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture and to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education.
House Bill 6750, providing hazard duty pay to frontliners and other essential workers during pandemics, epidemics, and outbreaks and other public health emergencies. Representative Crisologo.
To the Defeat COVID-19 Ad hoc Committee.
House Bill 6751, providing for fixed salaries of barangay officials and such other benefits being received by regular government employees. Representative Talyado.
To the Committee on Local Government.
House Bill 6752, establishing a national minimum wage rate for private sector workers. Representative Talyado.
To the Committee on Labor and Employment.
House Bill 6754, declaring Fuyot Springs National Park in Barangay Santa Victoria, Ilagan City, Isabela, an ecotourism site. Representative Albano.
To the Committee on Tourism.
House Bill 6755, granting hazard pay to private and public healthcare workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Representative Yap Eric.
To the Defeat COVID-19 Ad hoc Committee.
Resolution, House Resolution 881, calling upon the House Committee on Energy to create an oversight subcommittee on total rural electrification. Representatives Dagook, De Jesus, Ebcas, and Guya.
To the Committee on Energy.
Committee reports. Report number 308 of the Committees on Health and Appropriations on House Bill number 6753.
To the Committee on Rules.
Report number 309 of the Committees on Higher and Technical Education Appropriations on House Bill number 6756.
To the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend sessions.
Session
I so
suspended.
move.
Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, for the information of the body, we have just concluded majority caucus. And before the caucus, we presented the number of issues that have been raised yesterday and last week, particularly on the House Bill 6732 that had been pending and that had been passed, although reconsidered. The parliamentary status of said measure is that under the period of sponsorship and debate, the bill is now suspended for consideration. The issues raised yesterday by a number of interpellators were quite credible and quite important. And we believe that these issues are best ventilated and threshed out at the committee on legislative franchises, considering that the committee, by nature of its jurisdiction and expertise gained, is in a superior position to meticulously and comprehensively deliberate the numerous concerns raised by the members. Several measures have been referred to the committee seeking the renewal of the franchise, as well as a new franchise due to the expiration of its franchise last May 4, 2020. The committee has already conducted preliminary hearings on the said bills before Congress and went on break last March 2020. Subsequent hearings were already scheduled during the break, and the applicant has already submitted documentary requirements, and most stakeholders also have submitted their respective position papers. Mr. Speaker, we also have equally, if not more important, measures to take before us. A number of them, of course, focus on the country's address of the COVID pandemic. These measures facing the House are, among others, the emergency food subsidy to poor families, hazard pay to workers, special compensation and survivorship assistance to health personnel, special risk allowances to frontliners, basically the extension of our social amelioration program. We have filed before us the Cures Act, establishing the COVID-19 Unemployment Reduction Economic Stimulus, the Philippine Economic Stimulus Act that is already being presented in the upper house, in the Senate. We have the New Normal Bill. We have the new establishment of the Epidemics and Preparedness Plan, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention establishment, the establishment of the isolation and quarantine facilities in all government hospitals. These are the very, very urgent matters pending before the DCC, or the Defeat COVID Committee, the ad hoc committee to meet the exigencies of this pandemic. All these matters are very, very well known to all members of Congress. The majority caucus that we just had has overwhelmingly given support to the House leadership's prerogative. When I say overwhelming, we have heard from members of the leadership of the various parties, from the PDP, from the Lakas, from the NP, from the NUP, all unanimously giving support to the House leadership's prerogatives and initiatives on this matter, particularly to Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano's decision on how we move forward. We will also have a member of the NPC, an NPC stalwart in the person of Congressman Wesley Gatchalian, echo his support that he was unable to mention or to utter during the Zoom caucus meeting that we just had. Before we would like to recognize Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano for his address to the body, we would like to recognize the leader of the National People's Coalition Party, Congressman Wesley Gatchalian.
Honorable Wesley Gatchalian from Valenzuela City is recognized for his manifestation.
Mr. Speaker, maraming salamat po at maraming salamat rin po sa ating Majority Floor Leader. In behalf of the National People's Coalition, ay after po ng pagkonsulta namin po sa mga miyembro namin, nakita ho namin na marami pang mga katanungan na kailangan pong linawin tungkol po sa ABS-CBN na franchise. Kaya po, nagdesisyon po ang aming partido na ang mas maganda pong venue kung saan po malilinawan ang lahat ng bagay ay through the Committee on Franchise. Kaya po, in behalf of the National People's Coalition, we support the move of the good speaker and we support the majority. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader.
we would like to similarly recognize Congressman Jonathan Alvarado from Bulacan, representing the
Session suspended.
NUP.
Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of sponsorship and debate of House Bill number 6732 and direct the SecGen to read the said title.
There's a motion to open the discussion, the period of sponsorship and debate on House Bill 6732 for consideration on second reading. And no objection. The chair is none. The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of House Bill 6732 for consideration on second reading.
House Bill 6732, an act granting the ABS-CBN Corporation a franchise to construct, install, operate, and maintain radio and television broadcasting stations in the Philippines and for other purposes.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the NUP stalwart in the person of Congressman Jonathan Alvarado.
Honorable Jonathan Alvarado is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker. Sa atin po mga kasama, maraming salamat. Ako po si Kuya Jonathan C. Alvarado mula sa lalawigan ng Bulacan, membro ng NUP. At bilang isang membro po ng NUP, kinakatawan ko po ang aming partido sa aming suporta sa House Leadership, lalong-lalo na sa usapin ng ABS-CBN. At kami po ay umaasa na mabibigyan ng patas na pagtingin ang mga pro at ang mga anti sa ABS-CBN. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we move to suspend the deliberation of House Bill 6732 and suspend the
Any
period of
objection?
sponsorship and
The
debate.
chair is none. The period of sponsorship and debate and the discussion on House Bill 6732 is suspended. Majority
Mr.
Leader.
Speaker, I move to recognize our Speaker, Alan Peter Cayetano.
The Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives is recognized for his address.
My dear colleagues, mga kababayan, discerning and praying about the decisions that we had to make. And ito po ang pumasok sa isip ko, yung sa John 3:30. And regardless po kung ano ang ating religion, He must increase and I must decrease. Ibig sabihin, ang Diyos ang dapat mag-increase at tayo naman ang mawala in leading people. Jeremiah 17:9 tells us that the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? Ulitin ko po, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? So it is with the understanding that while we seek to do what is right, human nature gives us a deceitful heart that I'd like to address the nation today. We are in the midst of a great crisis, fighting a terrible virus, working towards saving lives and livelihood, keeping our kababayan safe while endeavoring to bring our struggling economy back to life. Klaro po sa atin yan. Pakahirap pong i-implement yung ECQ. Nung nag-modify naman po, napakarami din violation. Nung una, maraming hindi nakakaintindi or hindi naaabot ng impormasyon kung bakit importante to stay at home. Di lang po sa Pilipinas yan. Kahit anong channel sa cable TV ang panoorin nyo, sa Europe, sa Africa, sa Amerika, yung stay at home, talagang mahirap intindihin nung umpisa. Ngayon naman po na gusto natin bumalik, kung hindi sa normal, sa new normal, ang dami din pong pagsubok. I asked several times that we focus on this. As early as February, this House of Representatives, through this representation, warned that while we're dealing with many issues katulad po ng earthquake sa various parts of Mindanao, rehabilitation of Marawi, while we were taking care of many issues that will help our nation rise up again, maraming mga sakuna na parating, and we warned of COVID-19. Arguing that the fate and future of one private corporation, no matter how influential, cannot be weighed against the welfare of the nation and the well-being of the people. But I guess the reality is that for many, the siren call of politics is just too much to resist. And politics, like the virus, brings out the best and worst in us. Let me be candid with all of you and speak from the heart. Ito po ay galing sa puso ko. I am disappointed, I am hurt, and to a certain degree, I am frustrated. Not because I am for or against the renewal of the ABS-CBN franchise. Nor am I frustrated, hurt, or disappointed because I'm being criticized. Sala sa lamig, sala sa init. Sabi ko nga, nung tinatanong ako ng asawa ko, ano pakiramdam ko, sabi ko, it's good to be loved. The pro-ABS loves me. The anti or ABS or shutdown also loves me. Both of them love to hate me. That is the reality when you are in the midst of a highly charged political issue. But dapat ba taguan yon? Hindi. Pero syempre, tao din po tayo at nakakaramdam po ng disappointment, hurt, and frustrated. But the reason why I say that there is hurt, disappointment, and frustration is because I really believe that we can temporarily set aside that which divides us and has divided us for a long time, because we are talking about survival. We are talking about people's lives. We are talking about people's livelihood. So akala ko, pag sinabing time out lang, di ba? Dahil para sa bayan naman to, para sa atin lahat, we can find a consensus. From the start, all I've ever asked from anyone in this chamber and outside this chamber regarding this or any other issue is that we should do what is right. And that has been a struggle ever since both the pro-renewal and pro-shutdown forces do not want to give an inch to each other or other way. And so we find ourselves veering off the topic at a time when focus is what our people needs most. Sino po ang sasalungat o magdidebate that to adapt, to innovate, and to manage is what we should be focusing on to help our people? Yet, this issue, yes, partly political, partly moral, some say will be an issue of press freedom, some say will not. But this has to stop. This has to be resolved. The more I say, wag muna natin pag-usapan, the more na pinag-uusapan. Pag sinabing on the air, maraming galit. Pag sinabing off the air, maraming galit. Pag sinabing ito prinsipyo, nabayaran ka. Pag sinabing nabayaran ka nung dalawa kasi bumaliktad ka. Napaka-poisoned at toxic nung atmosphere. But please look at people who are dealing with uncertainties. You know, we have a former colleague who passed away. And I have a very good friend who lost his mother and now has a sibling who is suffering, hindi COVID. You know, and when I speak to families who are in dire need, especially sa health, parang lahat ito hindi importante. Di ba? And I guess many of you who are here, and especially those of you who are not here in Zoom, who are in your districts because walang commercial flights, pag pumunta sa inyong bahay ang inyong mga constituents na humingi ng pagkain, humingi ng ayuda, umiiyak na yung tatay nila o nanay hindi makauwi, you know, all of this seems to be so small. No? Of course, it's not always so small. Parts of Mindanao ngayon walang TV because they only have ABS-CBN. Sasabihin naman iba, kita mo, pro siya. Hindi po. Ayoko lang na walang napapanood ang tao sa kanilang tahanan. And in this, and in saying that this has to stop and this has to be resolved, and in saying that there is pain, hurt, frustration, and disappointment, may I also tell you very honestly that I am hopeful because I am full of faith that despite the terrible things that are happening around the world and in our communities, God will touch our hearts, show us our mistakes, and build us back better. He will restore us. He will heal us. God wants us to do what is right. But perhaps what is right may be subjective. Or maybe we make it subjective depending on what's in our hearts. And let me remind you, our hearts are deceitful. I can easily tell you all that my heart says this is what is correct. But Bishop Abante, who's staring at me, our minority leader, could come up to me and tell me, brother, you are wrong. Your heart is deceiving you. So how do we define what is right? We all define what is right based on our own perspective, based on our own point of view, and based on our own feelings. And so we can have all the passion in fighting for what we believe is right, yet end up losing ourselves in the process. The end just not justify the means. Di po natin pwedeng murahin ang mga kasama natin. Di po natin pwedeng islander mga kasama natin. Di natin pwedeng biglang suntukin o sunugin ang bahay ng kasama and say, hindi, tama ako sa argument eh. Baka tama ka sa punto mo, pero the way you went about it is wrong. And I hope people will agree with me today, whether you are for the 25-year franchise or for the shutdown, let us agree we're going about it the wrong way. I can agree that my way is also wrong. Hindi ko sinasabi na yung tama yung paraan ko. But there has to be a way. In other words, we can fight for what is right, yet be fighting for it in the wrong way. Discerning what is right in policy making, especially in highly charged political issues like this, necessitates a fair and transparent process. This is so that people will be able to make informed judgment that will not only be fair, but also understandable and ultimately acceptable to those who will find themselves on the losing end. Think of any controversial measure here today. LGBT rights, divorce, POGO, whether we should allow it or not, death penalty, amending the Constitution, foreign ownership of land, land reform, whether we stick to the present system or there's a new system or we should go to commercial farming. Those are all controversial measures. Some of you will stand up here and say that you are right. Some will stand up and say, no, you are wrong, we are right. But do we start calling each other names? Or do we have a process, a legislative process where everyone is allowed to speak para po marinig nung lahat? So kung hindi po natin kayang desisyonan na tayo lang, bakit natin hindi involve ang publiko? May social media naman, nandiyan naman ang media na nakabantay, ba't hindi po tayo mag-hearing at habang lumalabas ang lahat ng kuro-kuro, lahat ng opinion, lahat ng laman, pati hugot, ilabas na rin natin. So that people will hear the argument and can form their judgment. And for those of you who already have a judgment, may mawawala ba na i-test mo yung paniniwala mo by listening to the other side? And if, despite listening to everyone, we cannot agree, again, kahit anuman issue yan, wouldn't it enhance our acceptance of how the majority voted if we know why they voted that way? We don't have to be unanimous. It doesn't have to always be a consensus. But to not discuss at all, that is the dictatorship. So, parating na sa issue, diktador, hindi diktador, diktador, diktador. Kung ayaw nyo mag-hearing at ayaw nyo pag-usapan to sa tamang oras, lahat tayo diktador. Ang diktador yung nagsasabing, ako lang ang tama, ako lang ang masusunod. Wala pong nagsasabi nun dito po sa Kongreso. May nagsasabing, pasa natin kaagad. But I know they still want a hearing. So sana po sa publiko, we can find a way that there will be fairness and we can agree on timing. Timing is essential in doing what is right. I said before, I have been taught that it is always the right time to do what is right. But obviously, this becomes complicated or a complicated matter when we cannot even agree on what is right and what we should be doing. And now that ABS-CBN is off the air, of course, they have a different view of timing and fairness compared to if the NTC did not come in and they were on the air. And of course, for those who are anti, who are saying this is a new franchise, for them it is unfair to put ABS back on the air before there's a hearing. So I will agree with everyone. Fairness at timing, pati doon may debate. I still believe that dedicating all of our efforts to defeating COVID-19 or the new coronavirus and giving our countrymen something to hope for, shining the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, is the right thing to do. And more importantly, this is the right thing to do now. Unfortunately, everyone agrees with me that dapat ito ang focus, pero hindi po mawala sa ating isipan, sa ating puso, sa ating dila, at sa ating daliri. Pag nag-Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, social media, ang issue ng ABS-CBN. I still believe that we need to be united as one nation and set aside all non-urgent, highly contentious issues that will tear us apart. Despite what people on the extreme ends of the issue want to project, politics should not be our main concern right now. When we first decided to hold the hearings after the break, it was under the well-founded belief that it was not urgent since there was no threat of ABS-CBN going off the air. Congress relied on the legal precedents, the DOJ opinion, the unanimous support of both houses of Congress, and the National Telecommunication Commission's commitment under oath that they will issue a provisional authority. On that point, let me just add that Congress will never allow these agencies to lie and mislead us in their sworn testimonies. If they lie to us, they lie to the people. But this does not mean we are completely against what they stand for. We only ask that they respect this House as we respect them and their position. Scolding the Solicitor General doesn't mean his legal assertions and accusations are right. It also doesn't mean they are wrong. It simply means he should have presented or at least found a way to inform Congress so that we could have calibrated and decided intelligently our actions. So when we say mali ang NTC na nagsinungaling sa atin, di naman natin hinuhusgahan yung kanilang legal opinion. Ang sinasabi po natin, huwag kayong magsisinungaling sa Kongreso kasi ang actions namin sa Kongreso ay based sa testimony na ibinibigay nyo dito sa amin. Pag sinabi ng DOH, 1, 2, 3, 4 factors have been met, pwede na tayo mag-GCQ. We have to rely on you. And then pag kumalat at sabihin nyo, ay, we lied pala. Ganito paraming kaso. Then you point your fingers at Congress. We will take responsibility when we make the decision, and it is the wrong decision, based on the testimony given us. But if our decision becomes wrong because you lied to us or you falsified data or you gave us the wrong information, then simply it's garbage in, garbage out. And we cannot allow that to keep happening or to happen again in this Congress. And even as this all changed, My commitment as Speaker of this House to do and to prioritize what is right has never faltered. Together with the House leadership and together with the leadership of the political parties, the geographic and regional groups, and the party list representing your different sectors, we tried to come up with a fair arrangement where ABS-CBN would be allowed to broadcast while Congress and Senate holds its hearing. Some have asked, why the need to give a provisional franchise? The provisional franchise does not mean we are pro-ABS-CBN, as some may claim. Nor does it mean that we are holding the network hostage, as others allege. It simply means fairness while we're deciding on the case. Again, sala sa lamig, sala sa init. Pag binigyan mo ng provisional franchise, sabi po nung iba na nasa side ng ABS-CBN, kita nyo, hino-hostage ng Congress. Gustong diktahan yung news. Sasabihin naman po nung kabilang side, kita nyo, kakampi na bayaran. Kaya bibigyan nila ng temporary franchise. This was simply to allow more of our countrymen to see, hear, understand, and judge for themselves what their elected officials are doing in their name, but also that all Filipinos deserve to see how and whether or not the network will broadcast the hearings with fairness and what are the accusations, evidence against them, and their responses. I hear you, those who are saying, mas maganda mag-hearing na off-the-air sila para patas. But I am telling you my personal view. Mas gusto ko nga na nag-hearing tayo on the air para makita natin kung fair sila o may bias. Kung ang pinapalabas lang nila yung mga punto nila or pinapalabas din ba nila ang mga punto na laban sa kanila. Diba? But again, that's not for me to decide. That was my personal view that I tried to push. But again, many agreed, many disagreed, but many decided to start calling each other names. This was the middle ground that we hope would bring together people so that we may go back and, more importantly, win the war against COVID-19 and take care of people's needs. But even with all the efforts to be fair and balanced, the toxic partisanship this issue provokes has poisoned the well of public discourse. Ang public discourse po ay parang isang balon. And if we have 100 people discussing, it only takes one from each side na maglagay ng lason at lahat na ng kumuha sa balon ay malalason. So I still believe most of our people and many, if not all of our congressmen, are arguing passionately based on what they believe and are not poisoning the well. But there are some who are in the extreme who are poisoning the well. Both sides of the extreme have now gone beyond passional debate and fair advocacy and are engaged in name-calling, slander, and humiliating each other, all for the sake of this one partisan political issue. If we are going to survive and build back better, we have to stop acting like young children and we have to mature quickly. Social networks and innovations in technology bring out childlike idealism. Maganda po yan. It democratizes discussion. Maganda din po yan. It brings the discussions into not only your household, but to every single person holding a cell phone. Even now as I speak, people are commenting on the Facebook site of Congress. Even now, as you look at your cell phones, you are getting feedback from your sectors, from your party, from your people. Unfortunately, it also brings out the bullies in us. It brings out yung pagka-alaskador. It brings out the meanness in us. No? We have to mature by listening to each other's point of view, by allowing assertions to be proven by evidence, by having a fair and transparent process that would allow all of us to make informed judgment. This process will make sure that walang saling pusa, Walang moro-moro sa usapan mahalaga sa bayan. Hindi po tayo pwede magmoro-moro sa issue na to. At lalong-lalong na pong hindi pwedeng walang saling pusa. Sa hearing na dadating, lahat ng gusto magsalita, gawan natin ang paraan. Kaya national artist po siya or budding artist, kaya isang senior legislator po o isang gusto palang tumakbo sa 2022. Kung siya po ay expert tax lawyer o siya po ay isang accountant na gusto palang mag-aral ng batas, gagawa natin ng paraan marinig ang kanilang opinion. And hopefully, walang maagrabyado sa usapan tungkol sa hustisya. But we have to learn to see these things for what they are, rather than to immediately conclude with faulty judgment. Let me address myself to the extremists outside Congress who are either for or against ABS franchise renewal. Don't poison the debate. It will not help your cause, nor enrich your position. Let love and reason carry our passions and argument, not hate and obsession. Lahat po na nagsasalita po ngayon, hindi lang po hugot yun, importante sa kanila. So pakinggan din natin. If we disagree, we say that we disagree. Diba? Ba't natin ibubuli? Ba't natin papayain? Gawin nyo sa amin yon because we are public servants, we're elected. Okay lang yon, fair game po. Bawal ang onion skin, bawal po ang balat sibuyas. So ako, even on my page, wala akong sinesensor. Gusto nyo ako murahin doon, gusto nyo sabihin ko ano man, tatanggapin ko, binabasa ko. Kayo community ko, kailangan makinig ako sa inyo. But to others, even if they're celebrities, even if they are known in their fields, even if they are social media sensations, di ba? Why bring the debate to that level? Kung may magkamali sa English, may magkamali sa example nila, meron medyo mapusok ang kanilang emosyon kaya kung ano ang nasabi, di ba? Who of us in our life never experienced that, never made mistakes sa diction, sa example, etc. No? Because of all this divisiveness and after consulting with the members of the House, the political parties and regional groups, I thank you for that, for the consultation and for your belief in the leadership. I, together with the House of Representatives leadership, have decided to forego with the provisional franchise and immediately proceed with the hearings for the full 25-year renewal application of the ABS-CBN franchise. Let me repeat that, doon po sa hindi nakakuha, the House leadership have decided to forego with the provisional franchise, but we will immediately proceed with the hearings for the 25-year franchise. However, there are the non-negotiable ground rules for this to happen. I hoped in my first speech to convince everyone that was fair. But nakonbinse din ako nung iba na baka hindi fair. So inisip ko sa sarili ko, what is a matter of principle to me and what is a matter of pride? I really believe hindi ito timing na pag-usapan yung ABS. Pero baka pride ko lang yon. As Alan Cayetano, as Congressman Alan Cayetano, as Speaker Alan Cayetano. Kung tingin ng mas manakakarami, it's the time to talk about it, then I will not let the pride get in my way. But what part is principle? The part that is principle is fairness. Kahit tapusin natin yung hearing ngayon, kung walang fairness, baliwala yun. So these are the ground rules that I propose and hope that you will also support. First, we must not forget our bigger concern. Huwag po nating kalimutan kung ano po ang dapat nating focus, which is to defeat the new coronavirus, to defeat COVID-19, and to provide hope to our countrymen. We must continue to focus on urgent measures that will ensure the saving of lives and livelihoods of our kababayans. And later, our most able chairman of the Defeat COVID Committee, COVID-19, and our majority leader will outline some of these most urgent measures that will be there to help our people. Second, as I have said time and time again, the hearings must be fair, impartial, comprehensive, and thorough. All voices must be heard, and all issues for and against will be discussed. As we have seen yesterday, this will require a lot of time that we do not have, and so there will be sacrifice on our part if we hope to finish this without delay. So we will multitask, in other words. But pakiusap po sa mga membro, lalo po sa may expertise sa agriculture, may expertise sa medical science, may expertise sa engineering, may expertise sa finance, di ba po? Hatiin natin ang trabaho. Doon po sa for and against at kailangan sa hearings ng ABS-CBN, wala pong pipigil sa iyo, and get all the expert witnesses that you can. But those of you, who we need at the forefront, talking about the economic stimulus, talking about kalusugan, talking about their regions, and if you have testing centers already, or Wes, as you were telling me kanina, that the big corporations, while they need help, they can practically take care of themselves. Pero paano po yung micro, small, and medium enterprises, especially the micro, di ba? Tama yun eh. We cannot abandon them. We have to continue to focus in helping them. And third, that we all vote in accordance with our conscience and not our politics. In other words po, makinig tayo sa hearings. May alam tayo, let's testify. Kung tatanungin niyo po, sino ba ang pinaka-apektado sa ABS-CBN? Yun po ang irony eh. Doon po sa nagkri-criticize sa akin. Doon po na nagsasabing ang Solgen ang tama. Bakit? Sino ba pinaka-naapektuhan ng ABS-CBN noong 26 election? Hindi ba ako at saka si Presidente Duterte? Hindi ba kaming dalawa ang tinarget? Hindi ba ako nagdemanda sa kanila? Hindi ba ako ang nag-file ng TRO at hindi ang Solgen? Yet, I had to find it in my heart as Speaker of the House to be fair to them and to give them a hearing. Siguro po kung hindi ako Speaker, kung ako po ay isang miyembro ng House, katulad nyo o chairman ng isang committee, kasama po ako sa magfa-file ng resolution na imbestigahan ng ABS. Pero hindi po eh. You allowing me and supporting me as Speaker of the House gives me extra burden on my shoulders, which is that at the end of the day, pag binalikan ang Kongreso and we are judged, we have to be judged to have been giving justice to everyone. Bakit po mataas ang ratings ng Kongreso? Bakit po sa sunod-sunod na survey, pataas ng pataas po ang Kongreso? Historic po. One is because we've been working hard and we've been delivering. But I think the other reason, the more important reason, pinipilit po natin gawin kung anong tama. Despite po the weight of politics, of yung day-to-day things that we have to deal with sa politics, this 18th Congress have tried to do what is right. That's why mataas ang So ngayon ba magbabago tayo because maraming tumutuligsa? Mangangamba ba ako na bababa yung ratings? Hindi. Sa inyo na yung ratings, basta't kami, pipilitin namin gawin kung ano ang tama. For those of you who are calling for an outright approval or denial, I ask that you suspend your extreme views until the facts have been presented and all these testimonies have been heard. What do you have to lose? The hearings might prove your point. At lalo ka maging pro o lalo ka maging anti. If I may borrow the analogy of a member of Congress who often disagrees with me, but I still respect, kababayan ng aking agom, Congressman Edsel Lagman, who gave an analogy about a locomotive and a speeding bullet train. Manoy Edsel, the gentleman from Albay, this is not a speeding bullet train nor a misdirected locomotives. Trains and locomotives follow fixed tracks. May release po yan eh. And have predetermined destination. May terminal po yan. Hindi katulad ng jeep na pwedeng pumara kahit saan o pwede mo sabihin, boss, special, kumaliwa ka dito sa EDSA, punta tayo dito. Hindi po. Ang tren po may release, ang tren po may stasyon. Precisely the problem in dealing with the franchise of the renewal of ABS-CBN is that we do not have trucks. Wala pong release dito. And we do not have terminals. Wala pong blueprint na magpapakita sa atin na mag-agree tayong lahat na ito ang paraan para sa ABS-CBN. Denial or approval. What we have are our individual compasses to help us find the true north. Sabi sa akin kanina ni Congressman Gatchalian, sa kanya, the true west. No, but the true north, my friend, west, no. And this is what this leadership is all about. This is what 18th Congress is all about. For those who cannot understand our position, thank you. For those who can understand our position, thank you then. But for those of you who understand our position, join us in trying to understand the position of others so that one day, baka they will at least attempt to understand our position. So to my colleagues and my countrymen, sa ating mga kababayan, we can disagree on the fate and the future of ABS-CBN. But I ask all of us to form a consensus right now on how we will face this new life. Yes, it's a new life. Hindi na po tayo babalik sa kahapon. And build our new economy. Yes, it will be a new economy. Yung highway na gusto nating i-build, nandiyan pa rin. Pero yung invisible highway, yung IT highway, yung digital highway, we will now have to build it. Maraming walang internet. Maraming hindi po makapanood pag walang TV kasi wala pong signal. Marami pong estudyante na sa bahay dapat nag-aaral pero mahina ang kanilang internet. So the new normal involves a new life and a new economy. Let's rise up to this challenge. And let us give Chairman Chicoy Alvarez and our Committee on Legislative Franchise complete autonomy. Wala pong mag-iimpluwensya sa kanila. Let us give them the task to carry out a fair, comprehensive, thorough hearing. Let it be continuous para walang magsabing pinapatigil, tinitigil, we're dragging our feet. Let us direct our committee to immediately and continuously hold hearings until everyone is heard. And after everyone is heard, then we can decide. Again, my dear colleagues, let's multitask. Like you've never multitasked before. Let us put our focus on the Filipino today and what our tomorrow will look like and how we can make a better tomorrow for all. I thank the whole leadership of the House, Minority Leader, Bishop Beniabante, Majority Leader, Martin Romualdez, our Deputy Speakers, our Presiding Officer, Deputy Speaker Abu, Deputy Speaker Pulong Duterte, and all the Deputy Speakers, El Rey, who's co-author of the bill we were discussing. I thank you for the confidence, not only in the leadership, but in the principles that we put together. So let us join President Duterte in his commitment to work and fight for a safe and comfortable life for all. And in that point, I'd like to thank the opposition, the members of the different blocks who are in opposition to this administration. Yes, you too are helping this chamber to make and give people a safe and comfortable life. So let me end by sharing with you a story about a wisdom ng aking ama na si Senator Rene Compañero Cayetano when I was learning to drive and when he finally allowed me to have a car and drive when I was already a student in the University of the Philippines. One day, a friend of ours drove less than 10 minutes from Alabang to UP in 10 minutes. A few weeks later or a month later, he tried it again. Nag-turn turtle yung kotse. He was okay, but he almost lost his life, inches lang or ano. So my dad talked to me, gaano kabilis magpatakbo? 70, 80. Siguro that was 90 or 100, pero syempre teenager ka, di ba? Tapos sabi niya, what would you do when you get to the intersection of EDSA, whether it's Pasay Road or Buendia? Red yung light, alauna ng umaga. Whether you're coming from UP, going home to Alabang, or you're coming from Alabang, going to UP. No? Or you're going to Taguig, to Bagong Bayan. Sabi ko, I drive the same. Sabi niya, hindi mo babagalan? Sabi ko, hindi, baka bilisan ko pa eh. Nakita ko, go. Diba? Ako ang tama, bibilisan ko. Sabi niya, mali ka doon. Sabi ko, bakit? Green yon. Sabi niya, paano kung may truck na hindi sumunod sa red? At kaakala niya walang kotse. Tumuloy yung truck. Binangga ka, patay ka. Ang tawag sa iyo ngayon? Di ako makasagot. So sabi niya sa akin, son, that's what you call you're right, but you're dead right. Pwede po tayong lumaban pero patay tayo eh. Di ba? Pwede nating pagpilitan kung anong tama pero patay tayo. So whoever is correct here sa ABS shutdown or ABS 25 years, people's lives are at stake. I want to be right, but I don't want people to be dead because we're debating who is right or not. So what will we do? We will look ahead, we will multitask, and while looking ahead, we will do the ABS-CBN hearings, but we will also take care of the urgent measures. We will look at our left, and we will see that there is a health crisis, and try to address that health crisis. And Dr. Congresswoman Janet Garin and Helen Tan and their whole team, diba, are focused on that. But we will also look at the right and see that our livelihoods are in danger. And that is where Juni Kua, West Gatchalian, Stella, Kimbo, Sharon Garin, Joey Salceda, Deputy Speaker El Rey, Eric Yap, and so many others of you who are part of that cluster. And that's where the minority and the Makabayan bloc will come in. When we look at the left and the right, ano ba ang new economy? Ano ba ang new normal sa health, no? But in the end, can we also look up? And when we look up, remember that there is a God who is perfect. And there is His creation which is imperfect, yet made in His image. And when we debate with anyone else, so yung mga nagmumura sa akin, you are also made in God's image. Di ba? And I try to see that in you. But it becomes difficult to see that in you when you're unreasonable. But never mind. Let's look ahead. Let's look to the left, right. Let's look up. And my dear colleagues, let us get things done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
Majority Leader.
I move for a 2-minute suspension.
Session suspended.
Pinakamaganda yung west, north and west.
Wala yung wind doon.
Walang wind.
Thank you, thank you. Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano's address to the body has been made the situation perfectly clear to us as to our directions and our initiatives. It is incumbent upon us to refocus here on the plenary the initiatives for the anti-COVID measures that have already been initiated by the DCC, the Defeat COVID Committee. We shall move forward and to present these matters at the proper time after the submissions of the committee reports to the plenary for their disposition and for the implementation and their transmittal to the Senate. These initiatives include the emergency food subsidy to the poor families, or otherwise known as the SAP, how we can improve it, how we can make it more efficient, how we can use the House's prerogatives to aid the DSWD, the LGUs in dispensing with the social remuneration packages. The Cures Act that has already been filed. Starting this week, we shall be debating or actually discussing these matters actually in the technical working group of the DCC before their presentation to the said plenary sessions that we'll have, that will ensue. As mentioned earlier, the Philippine Economic Stimulus Act is definitely a top priority. For this, we'll fund all of the initiatives that we'll be discussing and that are needed to help defeat the COVID pandemic. And moving forward, the new normal bill is very critical in setting the standards, in setting the protocols and processes moving forward. These two are very important measures that we have to take. Among the other cluster committees initiatives, such as those in the health, public order and safety, social remuneration, and the new normal, the establishment of an epidemics preparedness plan, the establishment of Center for Disease Prevention and Control, the establishment of isolation and quarantine facilities in all government hospitals. These are matters that will take precedence at the plenary. But as clearly pointed out by our Speaker, the Committee on Legislative Franchises will take the lead in hearing the matters of the ABS as well as the other franchises pending before it. They are ready, able, and willing to act with expediency to meet the urgency of the franchise applications. That, Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the session for another 2 minutes for further deliberations.
Thank you very much,
outside.
Majority Leader. Session suspended.
We'll wait for the speaker.
Pwede na daw i-tackle ang for PESA?
Sessions resume. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill number 6312 and Senate Bill number 1086, creating and establishing the National Academy of Sports, Mr. Speaker. In accordance with our rules, I move that we ratify the said Bicameral Conference Committee report. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? The chair is none. The Bicameral Conference Committee report on the disagreeing provisions of House Bill 6312 and Senate Bill 1086 is ratified. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move we recognize the Senior Deputy Minority Floor Leader, Dr. Congresswoman Janet Garin, to avail of her question of privilege, Mr. Speaker.
May I know from the representative of Iloilo, Congresswoman Janet Garin, what is the nature of your personal and collective privilege?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a few weeks ago, I started embarking on helping the private sector, together with donations from members of Congress, in putting up COVID laboratory testing centers. And in so doing, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I found out some nuances that were actually hindering our testing centers. And in line with this, a certain supplier has been maligning me, not only among the donors, but also among some people. With this,
You may proceed.
thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it has been around 10 weeks since we understood the deeper meaning of quarantine. And just last week, I presented before all of you our plan to put forward the Crushing COVID Act. This pandemic has highlighted many critical points, among them that inequality is a greater illness in times of concern, that government can only do so much absent the help of the private sector. There are people out of fear for their own family's safety and welfare will do their utmost if only to survive. Sa pandemic na ito, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, nakita po natin naging talamak ang fake news ukol sa paano dapat labanan ang virus. Marahil dala ito ng pagkalito at takot na nararamdaman ng marami. Nakita din nating sabik na sabik ang ating mga kababayan makabalik sa dati, sa old normal. Kaya nung magbukas panandalian ng isang kilalang coffee shop, o kaya nung ninais ng ating mga kababayan na bumili ng cake noong Mother's Day, o kaya nitong weekend lang na nagumpisa ang operasyon ng iilang mga mall, ganoon na lang ang pagpila at pananabik ng mga tao. Ang lahat ng ito nakikita datin dahil nababalita. Pero ano po ba ang hindi nababalita? Yung greediness ng iilan na marahil punot dulo kaya gaano man kalakas ang panawagan ng madla para sa malawakan or expanded PCR swab testing ay tila yata hindi matuloy-tuloy ito. More than 2.5 months and 110 million Filipinos have been asking, if I were not a VIP, if I were not someone with special access to government resources, if I don't have the money, how will I get tested? And if I were to get tested, how does the test happen? Where does it happen? How much and how long shall we have to wait? How do we carry with our lives? While waiting for news from the Department of Health regarding the much-needed testing centers, mistrust started to crawl in. One could say even discrimination grew. People who were not tested were presumed to be infected, even if they were just waiting for their results. Not knowing where the enemy is indeed brings a lot of uncertainties and cultivates an atmosphere of confusion. Naalala ko po, Mr. Speaker, nung sinabi po ng ating butihing Deputy Minority Leader when Congressman Kit Belmonte said, "Nako, ang hirap-hirap na nagpapatest sa Quezon City. Dahil nagpapatest pa lang sila, tila pinipresume ng positibo at nagkakaroon ng diskriminasyon dahil sa tagal ng resulta. Again, so many news, both real and fake. So many expectations, so much anxiety, and in the midst of all of this, there were those who found the opportunity to peddle their lies and their political agenda. Isarara po natin ang ating bansa. Sumadsad ang ekonomiya, ilang buwan na ang lumipas pero ang na-testing wala pa 1% ng Metro Manila. Bilang dating kalihim ng kalusugan at bilang ngayon nga kasama niyo dito sa kongresista, at ang pinaka-importante po bilang isang nanay at may bahay, di po ba naiiba ang takot ko sa karaniwang Pilipino? Kung ano man ang takot nararamdaman nyo, ganun rin po ang nararamdaman ko. I remember when Congressman Mikey Arroyo was very much concerned about the people in his district getting infected. It was a daily routine for him to pray that testing centers will be increased. Dahil nakikita niyang marami ang nawawalan ng trabaho, marami ang nangangamba, marami ang hindi alam kung ano ang gagawin. Kaya ganun na lang din ang pagsisikap natin makipag-unayan sa mga nasa katungkulan at itulak ang mga solusyong maaaring pakinabangan ng mas nakararami kesa ng iilan lang. Pero ang sagot sa atin madalas, na parang sa di mapalawanag na sa relasyon, ang palagi pong sagot, it's complicated. Hindi raw madali. Kesyo ganito, kesyo ganoon, kesyo ang hirap-hirap. Well, there is some truth to this. There appears to be a deeper reason to everything as I have come to learn. While everybody has been busy looking at the daily count of COVID cases both here and abroad, ang lingid po sa ating kaalaman ay may iilang walang konsensyang hinaharang ang access natin sa mga testing equipments at testing kits sa bansa natin. Allegedly, there is a couple in the Philippines barring the importation of much-needed COVID testing automated machines, otherwise called automated extractor machines. Paano po ba ito nangyayari, Mr. Speaker? Nagulat po ako dahil nung gumagalaw ang pribadong sektor, tila hindi makapasok sa Pilipinas yung order natin. At ilang beses na-postpone. Only to find out that not only this company but almost all companies selling testing kits, ibibigay lang sa iyo ang makina nila kung ikaw ay bibili ng testing kit. At ang pagkakasabi sa mga donors at sa mga negosyante ng kumpanyang ito, ang dami raw pinadala sa mag-asawang ito. They were allegedly estimating they facilitated the entry of 30-notch automated extractor machines and 40 MA6000 into the Philippines. Lingid po sa ating kaalaman, it is the company's policy that testing equipment are not to be sold for profit. It is being made available to facilitate testing. Kung ang isang negosyante po ay hoard o itatago yung mga kagamitan para sa testing at ibebenta ng pagkamahal-mahal sa ating mga donors, hindi po ba? Is this not an injustice to the Filipino people? Kaya naman pala, nung yung mga donors, paulit-ulit na nakikipag-ugnayan sa iba't ibang mga kumpanya, palaging may humaharang. At ang palaging reason, exclusive distributor po kami. Bansagan po natin ang mga halang-ang kaluluwa na ito bilang VE. Gawang very enterprising ang mag-asawang ito. Pati buhay ng ating mga kababayan, ginawang negosyo. Matapang pang nilapitan ng mag-asawang VE ang mga maaaring tumulong para mapasakamay nila ang exclusive distributorship. Dahil sa ginawa nila, na-delay ang pagpasok ng ating mga kinakailangang equipment at machines noong May 11 para magamit sa laylayan at bayan-bayan. Napaikot din nila ang ilang mga donors sa pag-aakalang parating na yung mga kagamitan at tila meron silang patuloy na pakikipag-ugnayan sa factory at mga scientists at eksperto na gumagawa ng testing kits. Yun naman pala. Meron na silang warning 1.5 months ago. They were warned not to hoard equipments They were warned to use the equipments for testing. They were warned not to overprice. They were warned not to deprive our country of the much-needed PCR or swab testing para po sa ating COVID. Ang apela ko sa ating mahal na Pangulo, Tatay Digong, President Rodrigo Duterte, pakitingnan po ang anomalyang ito sa importation ng automated extractor machines at pakipitik naman po yung ating pong very enterprising couple para matauhan kahit bahagya man lamang. Sa ating Senate Health Chair, Senator Bongo, pakiusap ko po, silipin po ninyo ang anomalyang ito. Ayoko na sana pong tumayo sa dami ng problema at kailangan natin gawin, subalit kung walang tatayo, wala po akong oportunidad para magsalita. Noong mga nakaraang araw, halos kulang na po ako sa tulog sa pag-aasikaso na magkaroon ng mabilisan na swab testing centers, dala nga ng kontribusyon ng ating mga negosyante, kaakibat ang Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship under Secretary Joey Concepcion o yung Go Negosyo Program. Ang nakakalungkot, imbis na magtulungan, pilit na sinisiraan po ako at yung mga tumutulong sa programa na ito dahil ang mag-asawang si VE ay pilit na inilalayo ang bansa natin sa mga machines at mga sa testing equipments and kits. Ako na po ang magdadiagnose, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Hindi po COVID, kundi COVID ang sakit ni na VE. COVID as in corruption in a pandemic is a disaster. Ang kinokopid nila di lang po pera, kundi buhay ng pangkaraniwang Pilipino. Ang babala po natin at sa mga kakumplot nila, huwag po nilang subukan ang pamahalaan. Huwag niyo pong isiping pwede niyong bilugin ang ulo ng Pilipino. Huwag niyong gamiting oportunidad ang COVID para pagsamantalahan ang kababayan at kapwa-tao natin. Because there were a lot of uncertainties, survival became the mode for many of us. Almost everybody was looking for ways to be tested. Ramdam ko ang kaba ng mga naghihintay ng resulta. Kaya naman po, gumalaw ang pribadong sektor. I respect the opinion of our scientific minds. Many were against rapid test kits, citing false negative results. Ako nga po, yan po ang naging katayuan ko. Sa ating mga kagalang-galang na kongresista, Mr. Speaker, simula po noong Marso, ang dami nang nagtetest sa akin ukol sa COVID rapid test kits. At patuloy ko pong sinasabi that we should be careful because the gold standard is the PCR swab test. Kaya lang, hindi mo mapigilan ang kaba ng tao kasi kahit paulit-ulit na sasabihin natin na PCR or swab test ang gold standard, hindi naman siya available dahil wala naman pong gumagalaw. And again, there was no clear-cut direction of where we were going with regards to the PCR swab test. This is very important, Mr. Speaker, because while other countries were testing at $30 to $40, we were confused as to how much is the actual cost. Can I have the slide, please? Ito po ang testing natin at ang ating PhilHealth rates. Tingnan po natin ang ating PhilHealth rates at kakikita po natin na nagkakanya-kanyang opinyon. Nag-aaway-away na yung ating mga doktor. Nag-aaway-away na yung mga tao natin sa gobyerno. At dahil dito ang pinag-aawayan, ano po ba ang dapat gamitin? Rapid test po ba? Or COVID PCR swab tests? May kanya-kanya po silang strengths, meron din sila kanyang-kanyang weaknesses, pero ang punot dulo ng pinanggagalingan ng lahat ng ito ay dahil wala tayong PCR COVID testing centers enough to make it available and most importantly, affordable to our people. Kaya nagulat po ako, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, paulit-ulit na sinasabi ng iilang opisyal, testing is not cost-effective. Testing is not needed. Tila salungat ito sa paulit-ulit na sinasabi ng World Health Organization at tila salungat ito sa unang sinabi ng DOH at tila salungat ito sa ginagawa ng lahat ng bansa sa buong mundo. Are we exempted? No. It is just because we are finding reasons so that our people will not be tested. It is just because we do not accept the fact that we lack testing centers. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, COVID-19 is a challenge of how the world reacts in a time of pandemic. It is also a challenge to the way we should situate ourselves in society. That all of us could be carriers, and that all we could inflict sickness on others. As such, it reorients us to think how we should put others ahead of our own, and how we could support our government to meet this great challenge. COVID is also a test and challenge to our own government and the kind of leadership we have in the health sector. COVID is a test case of how we will unite and react as one so that we could truly say we could heal as one. Sa ilang pong meeting at pagpupulong, makailang ulit po natin ginawang suggestion na magkaroon ng price ceiling sa commodities at gumawa ng paraan para magkaroon ng sapat na testing kits. Ang madalas po na tugon sa atin, tungo o kaya sumulat po kayo at yun po titingnan namin. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, hindi po totoo na may shortage ng test kits dahil nagtanong-tanong kami. Marami naman po pala. Meron po tayong chief implementer, si Secretary Carlito Galvez, at yung ating lab czar, si Secretary Vince Dizon. Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa dedikasyon at sipag nila. Sila ang tumanggap ng tungkulin na napakabigat at napakalayo sa hawak nilang pwesto sa pamahalaan. Nararapat lang po na suportahan sila ng todo-todo para tuluyan nating maibalik sa maayos ang ating bansa at makabalik na rin sila sa dapat nilang pagtuunan, ang peace process at ang flagship projects ng ating gobyerno. Pero ang tanong, paano naman makakagalaw ang ating mga implementers kung tila yata may laging humaharang sa mga dapat asikasuhin at gawin ng mabilisan? Ang private sector, ganado at handang tumulong, pero tila yata nahihirapan. In fact, just today, and in a few hours, in 2 hours, the C-130, thanks to the courtesy of Secretary Lorenzana, Secretary Galvez, and Secretary Locsin, will be arriving carrying the donation of a few congressmen and people in the private sector that will be enough to equip 12 laboratories. Ang tanong, bakit po ba ang simpleng bagay ay pilit na kinukumplika? At bakit po ba patuloy na hindi sinusuportahan ng ating mga pampublikong ospital? At bakit po ba sa PhilHealth may napakamahal tayong COVID testing packages? Ito po, makikita natin ngayon. 8,150 kung ikaw ang bibili ng kit at ikaw ang gagawa ng testing. 5,450 naman kung yung test kits ay donated. 2,710 naman kung iyong laboratorio ay pinagawa at donated ng iba at wala kang gastusin pati sa test kits. Tanong, sino po, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, ang gumawa ng ganitong package? Natutuwa po tayo na kumilos ang PhilHealth, pero hindi po nakakatuwa na gumawa sila ng package na masyadong mahal. Dahil ang pera po ng PhilHealth ay pera ng sambayanang Pilipino na miyembro ng PhilHealth. Kung gagawin mong napakamahal ang COVID testing, hindi po ba, ito ay magiging batayan ng lahat na gustong kumita sa panahon ng pandemya? At hindi po ba pwede ito maging dagok na siyang ikamatay ng PhilHealth? Sino po ang gumawa nito? Paano po ito ginawa? At sino ba ang talagang...
Deputy Minority Leader, may request the Majority Leader for an extension of his time for question of privilege.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we extend the privilege hour by 10 minutes to the Honorable Janet Garin.
Any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved. You may proceed.
Maraming salamat po, kagalang-galang na Speaker. Maraming salamat po sa ating Majority Leader. Alam ko pong tila ginagamitan na naman ng kung ano-anong medical terminologies ang testing packages sa PhilHealth para hindi mahalata at maikubli sa presidente ng PhilHealth ang katotohanan. Tila yata may mafia o sindikato na siyang cancer sa ating PhilHealth. Hindi po natin pwedeng ubusin ang pondo ng PhilHealth dahil marami pa pong sakit ang kaya nitong tugunan. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, sa panahon ng COVID, kung ikaw ay magdialysis, kailangan ang PPE. Kung ikaw ay magpapa-opera, kailangan ang PPE. Naging mas mahal ang gastusin ng kalusugan dahil sa COVID. At dapat mas maging mahal ang coverage ng PhilHealth sa mga sakit na ito. Pero tila, nakakapagtaka na sa testing pa lamang, dito ipinapaubos at binubuhos ang pondo ng PhilHealth. Pangalawa, bakit po ba tayo takot sa expanded swab testing? Gawang meron tayong maaaring matap na health workers at kawang gawing mura ang testing. Ang siste nga po, inuunahan natin agad ng napakamahal na PhilHealth rates. At ginagawa natin itong baseline para sundin ng lahat. Hindi po ba tayo nagtataka? Why is it that only in the Philippines we have probably the most expensive COVID testing? Sa China, sa pagkakaalam ko, ang presyo ng pagpapatest ay hindi pwede lumagpas sa $20. Of course, may subsidy ang gobyerno doon. Ang presyo naman ng Singapore ay hindi lumalampas sa $40. Ganun rin po sa ibang bansa. Sa atin, andyan po ang sagot ng PhilHealth. Ang sabi naman ng iba, wala po kasing testing kits, may shortage, kaya wag na lang tayong mag-test. Ang katotohanan, madami pong testing kits ang available. Wala pong sinasabing shortage dahil napakadami ng pwedeng pagpilian. Pwera na lang kung may ipipilit ka na hindi naman mahagilap dahil ginagawa sa Amerika kung saan napakalaki ng demand. Hindi po ba nakakapagtaka, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, na minsan tila hiwa-hiwalay ang pagbebenta nito? In testing, you have 12 components, including the PPE and the mask and the goggles. Bakit po ba natin dinidisaggregate at binibenta ng tingi-tingi? At kapag dumating sa ating laboratory testing centers, hirap na hirap ang Zamboanga dahil kulang-kulang. Ang lung center hindi makapag-push through ng operation dahil kulang-kulang. Hindi lang po yun. Ganun na rin po ang iba nating mga testing centers. Question ko nga po, bakit hindi gumagawa ng paraan ang liderato ng kagawaran ng kalusugan para direktang bumili sa mga manufacturer para makuha ang testing kit sa bagsak na presyo at maiwasan ang pagnenegosyo ng mga tuso? Dagdag pa natin ang mga bangayan at awayan para sa exclusivity ng pagbebenta. Kapag pilit po na idaan sa mga ahente o supplier, mas nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon na lumihis sa nararapat na presyo. Madami naman pong matitino, pero madami din ang garapal at tuwang-tuwa pa sa pandemic dahil ito ay pagkakataong kumita ng pera sa gitna ng pasakit ng ating mga kababayan. Pandemic ngayon. At siguro napapanahong DOH na mismo ang bumili ng kits na kailangan ng ating mga kababayan or kaya DBM or anong ahensya ng gobyerno, pero hindi po sa mga middleman, kundi direkta sa factory. Mr. Speaker, I was Secretary of Health for 1 year. Ang ginawa po ng kagawaran ng kalusugan noong unang panahon, bakuna, gamot, kung anuman ang mga kailangan, direktang bumibili sa manufacturing company para sa economies of scale at sa mababang presyo. Hindi po ito binibenta, pero yung ating po mga supplier ay kumikita sa paraan ng pagbebenta sa private hospitals at sa local government units. Sa mga equipments naman, syempre kailangan mong dumaan sa local na distributor dahil kailangan ang maintenance provider. Pero sa mga testing kits, kayang-kaya po na dumiretso sa mga kumpanyang gumagawa nito kasi yan po ang ginagawa ng ating mga bansa, our neighboring countries. Bakit po ba tila iba kung ang sa Pilipinas? Kaya nga po, habang gumagalaw ang iba't ibang ahensya ng Pilipinas, habang walang tulog na nagpupursige ang ating ibang mga opisina, kailangan po ang liderato ng Department of Health ay tingnan ang nangyayari at aksyonan kaagad. How much is COVID testing, swab, PCR testing in other countries? Bakit sa atin mahal? sa kanila $30 or $40, yan lang po. Kung walang flights, meron naman pong telepono at internet na pwedeng gamitin para tanungin ang mga counterpart offices ng DOH sa ibang bansa. Napakadaling tumawag sa ibang Secretary of Health sa ibang mga bansa para malaman natin kung anong ginagawa nila. Ang akin lang po. We cannot be a country if we cannot balance health and the economy. Hindi po pwedeng isang tabi ang usapin ng kalusugan at hindi rin naman pwedeng i-lockdown ang ekonomiya. Katumbas nito ay gutom para sa karaniwang Pilipino. Ito ang hinanakit nila. Kamakailan lang, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, napaka-agresibo ng probinsya ng Cavite. Napakagaling nung pagdala ni Governor Remulla na minarapat nilang itest yung mga tao. Pero kung ang Cavite lang ang gagalaw at yung mga government hospitals ng DOH, hindi natin i-equip ng kakayanan na mag-test at bigyan ng sapat na supply ng testing kit, of course, they will be overwhelmed because we are interrelated. We cannot just allow our LGUs to act independently. We should act as one country. Ano naman po ang matinding pakiusap ng ating mga frontliners na mga doktor, nurse at medical professionals? Dagdag na gamit at sana naman ay tumalima ang madla na manatili sa bahay. Ano po ba ang pakiusap ng ating mga state health workers? Suporta at sana magkaroon ng testing centers. Habang ang buhay nila ay delikado sa araw-araw na pag-aasikaso ng mga pasyente, not only COVID patients, because frontliners handling COVID patients are well protected. But frontliners handling non-COVID patients are more at risk dahil hindi mo makita at akala mo yung pasyente mo walang COVID. But are they being tested? No. Again, because I don't know why tila tinutulak na magpa-test tayo sa mga pribadong sektor. We lack testing centers because nobody ever dared to lift a finger and automate government testing centers. Testigo po ako nung nagbigay ng direktiba si Pangulong Duterte sa ating kalihim ng kalusugan at sabihin niyang tulungan ang mga laboratorio. If you need to automate, automate it. Pero tila hanggang ngayon, ibinibigay natin ito sa pribadong sektor. Mabuti na lang po at sumaklolo sila. Mabuti na lang po na sa liderato ni Speaker Alan Cayetano at ng ating majority leader, nagkaroon ng kontribusyon ng mga sweldo ng ating mga kongresista. Pero hindi po ba ito? Meron namang sapat na pondo ang ating kalusugan. Walang reagents ang pangkaraniwang hinanakit ng ating mga laboratory specialists. Parang inuutusan mo silang magpakain ng libo-libong tao pero hindi mo binibigyan ng pambili ng gasol. Charge to the private sector pa more, ika nga. At ito ang napakabigat sa bulsa ng ating kababayan. This is the sad state of our healthcare situation. It is severely underfunded and taken advantage of, where testing kits and testing centers should be the core of our response. What makes us more sad is that we have DOH officials, hindi po lahat, marami po dyan ang mga matitino, who are keeping a blind eye to what is happening. The leadership of the department and that of the entire country's health sector has a golden opportunity to boost the morale of our people, motivate them and encourage them to work and deliver. It begins with eliminating the obstacles to honest, to goodness, medical practice and science-based research. It begins by listening to those without vested interests and asking them to speak more based on their own findings, observations, and experience. It encompasses listening to the people on the ground. Our local government executives who are in the forefront are trying to sustain a bold face. Nag-aaway-away na yung mga doktor. Nagkakagulo na yung iba. Isa lang po ang sagot nito. DOH should own up that we need more testing centers. DOH should own up that they became late, and DOH should accept that we are going to move forward. Mr. Speaker, if I can be given 5 more minutes, and I'm going to wrap up.
Majority Leader?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the privileged hour be extended for another 5 minutes to allow our gentle lady to wrap up her privileged speech.
5 minutes extension. Granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished colleague. Tayo po sa Kongreso, ano po ba ang pwede natin gawin? Nagawa na nating ilaan ang ating sahod para sa Mayo para makatulong sa gobyerno. It is not too late for us to push for test, test, test. Aminado naman po tayo, naging mabagal ang pagtulak natin sa expanded swab testing, pero hindi nito ibig sabihin ay hindi na natin pwedeng gawin. Sa katunayan po, higit na kailangan natin ang tests para matukoy kung saan nakatago, aling lugar ang madami at magkaroon ng kumpiyansa ang ating kababayan habang bumabalik sila sa trabaho. Hindi po madali ito because expanded testing should have been done when we were in a lockdown where it was easy to trace people, where tracing people will not be difficult kasi alam mo na limited lang ang pinuntahan ng tao. Sa ngayon, nagbubukas na po tayo. Sinayang natin ang pagkakataon kung saan tulong-tulong nagsakripisyo ang sambayan ng Pilipino, kasama ang Pangulo, kasama ang mga negosyante. Kaya kung hindi pa gagalaw ang kalihim ng kalusugan, tila meron itong mensahe. I know that he is demoralized. I know that he feels bad. I don't want to speak against the leadership of the department, but I have to. Because my friendship with the secretary ends when my responsibility as a doctor, a legislator, and a mother has to start. Mahihirit dyan, sigurado po. Mahal kasi. Hindi raw cost-efficient ang swab test. Naku naman. Tila itinutulak ang usapan sa rapid test kits. Tila sinasabing, ito kasing iba, puro rapid test, dapat PCR tayo. Pero pag PCR naman, sasabihin mo namang mahal. Bakit po ba natin paulit-ulit na dinadala ang sa usapan whether it is PCR swab test or rapid test kits? That is not an issue. PCR swab test is the gold standard. Rapid tests can complement. But if you are not making testing available, then where will our people go? It's a method of survival. Kapit sa patalim. Because you are not only dealing with COVID, you are dealing with anxiety, the fear of people going back to work na pwede nilang ikamatay sa nervyos. Mas mahal kung muling sasadsad ang ekonomiya natin, mas mahal kung magkakaroon tayo ng another wave of infections, at mas mahal kung walang katumbas ang halaga ng bawat buhay na mawawala dahil sa COVID. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, allow me to put forward the following suggestions. I've been saying this time and again, even during the first cluster meeting that we had, pero tila walang napapapuntahan. Kaya nga po ako'y nananawagan sa lahat ng ating kasamahan. These are the solutions I humbly submit. Maximize the help of the private sector by laying down the map towards strategically located complementary testing centers. This will guide the donations of our congressmen. The IATF and the government should welcome all the help and allow recommendations and suggestions that would redound to the benefit of our country. Tama na po ang pagalingan. Tama na po ang kanya-kanyang epal. Tama na po ang pamumulitika. Tulong-tulong tayo dahil kailangan natin to. Purchase the kits directly from the manufacturers. Kung gagawin po natin ito, ang government po ang direktang bibili sa mga kumpanya. Lahat po, from the test kits to the reagents to the consumables, lahat po yan, hindi po lalampas sa 800 pesos to 900 pesos. Kaya ko pong patunayan yan. PhilHealth will now cover the processing fee of 500 pesos for government hospitals and 700 pesos for private hospitals. Ibig sabihin, bibili ng bulto ang bansa na Pilipinas. Ilalagay ito sa mga testing centers ng pribado at pampublikong ospital. Babayaran ng PhilHealth ng admin cost na 500 ang gobyernong ospital, 700 ang private hospitals. At huwag po nating kalimutan, ilinaan nila ang kanilang buhay. Ang kanilang pamilya, hindi nila nagkakasama araw-araw. Wala na po silang time in, time out. Wala na pong tulog. I am referring to our laboratory specialists, our pathologists, workers in the COVID testing centers na hindi lang na binibigyan ng incomplete testing paraphernalias. Minsan kulang pa at walang PPE. maglaan po tayo ng 100 pesos per test conducted. It can be paid by PAGCOR or any other government agency para naman po magkaroon naman sila ng kanilang true compensation. In other words, Mr. Speaker, next slide please. Ang maging suma total po ng ating swab PCR COVID testing ay 1,400 to 1,700 pesos. Pwedeng dagdagan ng miscellaneous cost na 300. Sabihin na natin, though I don't know if that is still needed. Hindi po ako naniniwalang imposible ito, and we are going to prove in the next days that this can be done. At nananawagan po ako sa aking mga kasamahan sa Kongreso at ng ating mga supporters na local government chief executives. Kung aayawan pa ito ng ating kalihim ng kalusugan, if again there will be obstacles to making testing not only available, most importantly, affordable. Kasi kung sasabihin nating napakamahal, tila sinasabi natin kapag ikay mayaman, pwede kang mag-survive ng COVID. Kapag ikaw ay mahirap, mamamatay ka na lang, hindi mo pa alam kung COVID o hindi. Health equity has been the mantra of President Duterte since day one that he assumed office. Huwag po natin itong kalimutan at alam ko po sa pagkakakilala ko sa Pangulo, hindi niya ito palalambasin. Malaking dagok ito kung magkakataon. Kung ang ginagawa lang natin isolate, isolate, isolate. And if we continue to infect, and infect, while we continuously avoid to test, and test, there will be higher chances of the virus mutating again. And then this virus mutate at its core. Vaccines being tested might have to start at step 1, and all our efforts might be in vain. Bakit nga po ba? For the past months and weeks, I have been very tired of convincing people that our testing in the Philippines is the most expensive in the world. Balik po ako. Bakit pahirapan? Bakit manual? Bakit hindi natin tulungan ang mga pampublikong ospital? Why are we insisting and saying that it is expensive where in fact it is cheap? Truth is, we should have health equity. We should not buy expensive testing kits because we can buy it directly from the source. If kits will be prepositioned in government and private facilities, bibilis po ang testing. Hindi tayo maghintay ng matagal. Makakauwi po sa kanilang mga bahay ang ating OFWs. Sa quarantine center, yung ating mga positibo na hindi natetest, patuloy na nakakapanghawa sa iba. Bakit nga ba? Ang iba naming kababayan sa probinsya ng Iloilo, dumating dito, walang sintomas, nasa quarantine center, nasa Cebu. Umuwi after 1 month. Pag-test sa Iloilo, positibo sa PCR swab test, meaning it is an active infection. Kung sinasabi natin hindi nakakapanghawa ang walang sintomas, nagsisinungaling po tayo. Tinatakpan lang natin ang ating failure to test our people. Kawawa naman yung ating mga OFWs. We are putting them in a petri dish where they get infected from each other. Umuwi silang walang COVID, nagtatagal sila doon, hihintayin nating maglabas ng sintomas, ayaw nating i-test. By the moment they get tested, they are already positive. Nitong nakaraang mga linggo, narinig natin ang 3 T's. Test, trace, treat. Panindigan ko ito para na rin sa tamang hakbang. Dagdagan po natin ito ng another T, which stands for trust. Trust your health experts, trust your state scientists and doctors, trust your career officials of the wealth of experience and knowledge to address these challenges. Trust the private sector to help and make it possible for them to do so. Ultimately, trust that the Filipino will listen and follow, but we ourselves, we who are in power and authority, should be the first to comply and serve as examples.
Please wrap up.
We are far from curing this virus. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to speak anew. I will strive that this is the last time I will speak of COVID in the halls of Congress, hoping that the good Secretary of Health will listen. Mr. President, Pangulong Duterte, we call on you as our tatay to discipline your children. I recall that during your meeting, you were very firm to make testing available and affordable. Nabilisan ng Department of Health. Mr. President, only you can handle this situation and provide a solution so we can move forward. Whether we like it or not, we have to survive this pandemic without a virus. And only you can make expanded PCR testing a reality for so many. If, in the coming days, there will still be obstacles to the laboratories that the private donors are putting up, then I will be urging the members of Congress to come forward, have an investigation, because we cannot just be blind, deaf, and mute while our people are faced with an invisible enemy. With your help and support, distinguished colleagues, I am of the belief that we can crush COVID altogether and we could bring back our country right on its track sooner than later. Maraming salamat po. Keep safe, Mr. Speaker. Keep safe, distinguished colleagues.
Maraming salamat, Senior Deputy Minority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Janet Garin to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Any objection? Chair is none. Motion approved. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman from Anak Kalusugan Party List, the Honorable Representative Mike Defensor, for his manifestation. So moved.
The Honorable Representative from Anak Kalusugan, Honorable Mike Defensor, is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker, and also to our beautiful Majority Floor Leader, the Honorable Bagat Singh of Manila. Mr. Speaker, mabilis lang po ng manifestation. Sa kadahilanan po nitong April 15, in line with the speech of the Honorable Janet Garin, na ang kanyang speech kanina tungkol po sa testing, which I support. And I urge, Mr. Speaker, dito po sa PhilHealth, Mr. Speaker, noong April 15, binago na po nila, previous to April 15, ang sinabi po ng PhilHealth, full coverage pag ikaw ay nagkasakit ng COVID-19. After April 15, Mr. Speaker, nagkaroon na po sila ng case rates. 43,997 for mild pneumonia, 143,000 for moderate pneumonia, 333,000 for severe pneumonia, and 786,000 for those with critical pneumonia. Ito, Mr. Speaker, na case rates na to, noon pa man akin ang nilalabanan dahil ito yung naging source ng corruption sa ilalim ng PhilHealth. Wala po silang COA last year. Pangalawa, Mr. Speaker, ang akin po yung itinutulak dito sa inyo pong suporta, Mr. Speaker, isang buwan na ho, magmula nung inimplementa to. Dapat, Mr. Speaker, pag ikaw nagkasakit ng COVID-19, lalo't na't mahirap ka, dapat full coverage ng PhilHealth, Mr. Speaker. Yun po ang aking manifestation, Mr. Speaker, and I hope with the support of the Majority Floor Leader, ang inyo pong suporta, Mr. Speaker, at ang mga kasama natin. Sa kadahilan to, Mr. Speaker, hindi naman nating pondo to. Pondo to ng PhilHealth. And I would like to move, Mr. Speaker, that we direct PhilHealth to immediately review the case rates program that they have for COVID-19, pag-aralan po nila kaagad at tanggalin na po ang limitasyon pag ikaw ay nagkasakit ng COVID-19. Full support, Mr. Speaker, ng PhilHealth ang ibigay sa ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker.
Maraming salamat, kagalang-galang Mike Defensor ng Anak Kalusugan. Maraming salamat at sinusuportahan ka namin dyan. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the manifestation of the Honorable Mike Defensor is duly noted.
Mr. Speaker, with the permission of the Majority Floor Leader, kung inyo pong papayagan, Mr. Speaker, dahil ito po'y pagkakataon natin, baka pwede pong yung motion, idirekta na kagad natin ang PhilHealth na reviewin yung kanilang programa sa case rates at bigyan ng kabuang suporta ang lahat may sakit ng COVID-19. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Again, I reiterate my motion, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, on the part of the majority, we hereby manifest and reiterate our support to the motion of the Honorable Defensor, Mr. Speaker.
Any objection? Here's none. The motion approved.
Maraming pong salamat, Mr. Speaker, and to all the members of Congress.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the gentleman from the 1st District of Agusan del Norte, the Honorable Representative Lawrence Fortune.
Representative from the 1st District of Agusan del Norte, Honorable Lawrence Fortune is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat sa ating Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, kahapon, ang inaakala nating lahat ay magkakaroon ng third reading at maaprubahan ang House Bill number 6732. Matapos na nating naaprubahan on first and second reading noong karaang linggo ang panukala. Ngunit may biglang pagbabago. Kahapon, ang ginawa natin ay bumalik tayo sa pangalawang pagbasa o second reading ng House Bill 6732. Bagamat, Mr. Speaker, ako'y naniniwala na walang mali sa ginawa ng House of Representatives ng ating tinalakay at inaprubahan on second reading ang House Bill 6732 on the same day. May mga nagsabi na ito ay unconstitutional dahil may requirement na ang reading should be done on separate days. Ako po'y naniniwala na ang first and second reading ay maaring gawin sa parehong araw kung ang isang panukala ay na-refer sa Committee of the Whole. Ang hindi po pwedeng gawin ay ang third reading on the same day. Kasi klarong-klaro po ang requirement ng ating konstitusyon na kailangan meron munang distribution of copies of the bill in its final form 3 days before the passage of the bill. Ano po ang nangyari kahapon? Nagkaroon ng pagkakataon ang marami nating kasamahan na mag-interpolate at supposedly magkaroon sana ng pagkakataong magpanukala ng mga amendments sa House Bill 6732. Nung narinig ko po ang mga interpellation at iba't ibang manifestations mula sa ating mga kasamahan, ito po yung mga conclusions na aking nakuha mula sa ating mga kasamahan. Unang-una, lumabas kahapon na napaka-urgent po ang issue ng mga manggagawa ng ABS-CBN na nasa higit 11,000 na nawalan ng trabaho sa gitna ng krisis at pandemya na nangyayari ngayon. 11,000 employees translate to 11,000 families. At para sa average na 5 per family, it translates to 55,000 individuals heavily affected by the displacement of their breadwinners in the middle of an unprecedented crisis confronting not only the country but the whole world. Yun ang una. Pangalawa, lumalabas din sa mga interpellations at manifestations na urgent ang pagbalik ng ABS-CBN sa ere dahil napakahalaga ng papel na ginagampanan nito sa paghahatid ng impormasyon sa ating mga kababayan sa gitna ng pandemyang ito. Doon po sa amin sa Mindanao, marami pong mga barangay, maraming mga munisipyo na hindi abot ng ibang estasyon. ABS-CBN lang ang abot doon sa mga barangay at mga munisipyong ito. Nung nawala ang ABS-CBN, wala po sila ngayong telebisyon. So the impact of ABS-CBN not being on air ay napakalaki sa gitna ng pandemyang ito. Lumabas din po sa mga interpelasyon at manifestations kahapon ang iba't ibang issues naman laban sa ABS-CBN na ito ay may mga violations na ginawa kaya dapat imbestigahan ang mga ito at dapat matalakay hinggil doon sa pagbigay ng prangkisa sa kanila. So from these conclusions, Mr. Speaker, lumalabas na tama po sana talaga ang House Bill 6732. Dahil urgent po ang concern ng mga manggagawa na sila ay bumalik sa trabaho at urgent po ang papel ng himpilang ito sa paghatid ng mahalagang impormasyon sa gitna ng pandemyang ito, tama lang sana sila ay bumalik sa ere immediately to address the plight of 11,000 displaced workers and to address the issue and importance of ABS-CBN's role in disseminating information, especially in this time of crisis. At bakit tama ang 6732? Sige, 5 buwan lang po muna. Kasi nga, lumalabas din sa kahapong interpellations at manifestations na maraming issues na dapat harapin ang ABS-CBN. So, the correct and appropriate direction that the House should have taken was to approve yesterday or today House Bill 6732 and yung mga bills po para sa mas mahabang prangkisa sa Committee on Legislative Franchises ay magpapatuloy sa pagtalakay habang effective naman ang isang bagong batas para sa provisional permit. Sinusuportahan po natin ang ating Speaker sa kanyang direksyon, lalo na nung kanyang tinulak ang House Bill 6732. Bagamat ako personally, Mr. Speaker, ay naniniwala na pag-usapan na kaagad ang 25-year franchise, but in the interim, it was a correct and prudent direction to push and approve House Bill 6732 while we push as well for the longer franchise in the Committee on Legislative Franchises. Mr. Speaker, sabi ng ating Speaker, we should set aside that which divides us. Ang issue po daw ng ABS-CBN ay isang napaka-divisive, highly charged na issue. Tayo po ay hindi nagkakasundo. May mga kasamahan tayong tutol dito, may mga kasamahan tayong tinutulak ang prangkisa, may kasamahan tayong nag-iisip pa kung dapat nga bang bigyan ng panibagong prangkisa ang ABS-CBN. But when we approved House Bill 6732 last week, Mr. Speaker, we were one, not one of us. Nobody, not one member of the House objected to House Bill 6732. Yes, it is true that we should set aside that which divides us. But when we voted on House Bill 6732, nobody objected. Everybody agreed. Even those who were vocal against ABS-CBN's renewal of franchise voted in favor of House Bill 6732. And if we voted voted again today on House Bill 6732, we would not have been divided. And the issue on constitutionality would have been addressed already. Mr. Speaker, sabi ng ating kagalang-galang na Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, kailangan natin pakinggan ang iba't ibang panig sa isyong ito. Kaya mas mahalaga na may mas malawakang deliberasyon doon sa Committee on Legislative Franchises. Ako po I agree that we should have a more extensive deliberation on this issue in the Committee on Legislative Franchises. Kailangan nating pakinggan ang lahat ng panig. Kaya nga po sana ay pinasa na natin House Bill 6732 para makabalik na sa trabaho ang 11,000 employees na na-displace, bumalik sa ere kahit pansamantala ang ABS-CBN habang tinatalakay naman natin doon sa komite ang iba't ibang issue laban sa network na ito. Mr. Speaker, kami po sa minorya ay naniniwala na bagamat kanina wala naman talagang motion to revert or to refer the measure back to the Committee on Legislative Franchises because there can be no referral back to the committee. Because in the first place, House Bill 6732 was never ever referred to the Committee on Legislative Franchises. From the beginning, it was considered and treated by the Committee of the Whole. So what happened is that simply our distinguished sponsors abandoned the bill. They simply decided not to pursue it anymore. So there's no more House Bill 6732 to speak of now. And we go back to the committee para doon sa mga earlier franchises bills that have been filed. Yan na po ang nangyari, yan na po ang status ngayon. Wala na po kaming magagawa. But we stood, Mr. Speaker, upang ipahayag na bagamat ito na ang naging desisyon ng mga sponsors at hindi naman kami pwedeng tumutol doon dahil sila naman ang sponsors at ayaw na nilang ituloy ang kanilang panukala, kami pa rin ay naniniwala na sana ay inaprubahan na natin ng House Bill 6732. Ngayong araw na to para nag-third reading tayo sa Lunes na darating. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the manifestation of Representative Lawrence Fortune be noted. Mr. Speaker, I move
Noted.
to...
Majority Leader, wait. For proper disposition of the manifestation of Honorable Mike Defensor and the manifestation of the Majority Leader earlier, would like to refer that to the Committee on Rules for proper action.
Yes,
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer the manifestations of Representative Mike Defensor and Representative Lawrence Fortune to Rules Committee.
Those manifestation is referred to Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I now move to recognize from the 2nd District of Caloocan City, Representative Edgar Erisa for his manifestation.
The representative from the 2nd District of Caloocan City, Honorable Edgar Electronic Cries, Erisa, is recognized. Sandali lang po, nakamute kayo, nakamute. Please proceed.
Take the place of Franz Castro.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Majority Leader, my dear colleagues. We in the Liberal Party is rather unique because there are members of the Liberal Party in the minority and there are also members of the Liberal Party in the majority. However, when it comes to House Bill number 6732, whether in the minority or the majority, supported the HB 6732. Ito po ay sinulong ng liderato ng House of Representatives at kami po ay lubusang sumuporta. Ganun pa man, naunawaan ko po ang I commiserate with the speaker, how he think about this, how he feels about this issue. I think it's now all water under the bridge. Kaya po sinusuportahan po natin yung aksyon na ito ng liderato ng Kamara. Subalit nakikiusap lang po kami sa Committee on Franchise na siguro po talagang sundin natin yung nasabi ng ating speaker na magkaroon talaga tayo ng masigasig, mag-multitasking tayo ngayong panahon ng pandemyang ito upang marinig ang lahat na dapat na marinig, sumusuporta at tumututol at makagawa kaagad tayo ng aksyon sa lalong madaling panahon. Mahalaga po na mabigyan natin ng katapusan ang issue na ito sapagkat tunay naman po na ang ABS-CBN is not just a media organization. It's already an institution. Yung pong ito po isang tradisyon na. The transmission of our customs was made possible by ABS-CBN, I would say. Matagal na po. It's not just political. I don't care about the commentators. I don't care about the owners. But really, ito po ay parte na ng ating pang-araw-araw na buhay. Sa mga nakaraang panahon po ay ikot ako sa aking distrito, sa bawat lugar, sa aking distrito. At ito mga huling araw. Narinig ko pong tanong sa akin kailan ba magbubukas ang ABS-CBN? At nahiwatigan ko po sa kanila dahil lalo na sa mga kasulok-sulukan, ang mga programa na pinanood nila malaking bagay para sa kanila, lalo na yung mga senior citizens na halos ito na lang po ang napapaglibingan, lalo na ngayong panahon ng pandemya. They don't care about the politics, they don't care about the issues behind the politics, pero ang sa tingin po sa kanila, parang ang ABS-CBN hindi naman po pag-aari ng mga Lopez, ito po yung pag-aari nila. At parang sa araw-araw sila ay nawawalan dahil hindi po nagtutuloy yung mga kanilang nagiging kagawian na nagpapaligaya, nagpapasaya sa kanilang mga buhay. So Mr. Speaker, maraming salamat po at magandang gabi sa inyo lahat.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the manifestation of the Honorable Edgar Erisa to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Referred to Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Arlene Brosses of Gabriela Party List for her manifestation. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Representative from Gabriela Party List, Honorable Arlene Brosas, is recognized for her manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Gabriela Women's Party is in favor of the proposed temporary franchise for ABS-CBN, with the fervent hope that the country's largest network will be back on air soon. Pagkilala ito sa karapatan sa pamamahayag na nakasaad sa ating konstitusyon, na hindi dapat sikilin batay lamang sa kapritsyo at tiranikong tendensiya. Pagkilala rin ito sa mahalagang papel ng media na maghatid ng balita sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. We hope that with the passage of this temporary franchise bill, this chamber will seriously internalize its duty and power to independently decide on franchises without unnecessary delay and without any influence and string pulling by the executive branch. We note, however, that this temporary franchise on the House Bill 6372 is timed to expire on October 31, 2020, after which the network's fate will once again hang in the balance. The lease of life being granted to the network and to its 11,000 workforce, pending the actual deliberations of the franchise renewal bill, could have been longer. At the same time, Congress is obliged to tackle the pending ABS-CBN franchise bills before October so as to establish its good faith with this gesture of putting the network back on air. Pero saksi po tayo sa nangyari kanina sa kapulungang ito. Pinaasa na magkakaroon ng provisional temporary franchise na pwede naman na habang dinidinig yung actual 25 years franchise renewal ay magkaroon ng temporary franchise para sa ABS-CBN na ito ay umere. So, Mr. Speaker, we find it unfortunate that the House leadership decided to drop the ABS-CBN Provisional Franchise Bill, which it originally pushed, to usher in a marathon of hearings on the pros and cons of the franchise renewal. What the House did was to suspend the hopes of the 11,000 ABS-CBN workers in mid-air, while the country's largest network will remain off-air. Ang panawagan natin sa Gabriela Women's Party, ibalik ang ere. Ibalik sa ere ang ABS-CBN. Bakit tila iniiwan natin sa ere ang libo-libong manggagawa ng ABS-CBN na apektado rin ng pandemya? Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, kailangan nating sapulin ang urgent na mga usapin. Hindi ba't mas urgent na mabigyan ng katiyakan ng 11,000 na manggagawa kahit hanggang Oktubre man lang? Hindi ba't mas urgent na matiyak na meron silang kita, lalo ngayon humaharap tayo sa pandemya? So, Mr. Speaker, ang gusto po sana natin, ang House, wala pong mawawala sa gobyerno at sambayanan sa ngayon kung hahayaan na makabalik sa ere ang ABS-CBN hanggang Oktubre. On the contrary, the House would be doing a disservice to the Filipino people if it will continue to sit on the network's franchise, as millions of Filipinos in far-flung areas are deprived of vital news and information amid the pandemic. Yun po ang halaga, Ang halaga ng malayang pamamahayag, ang halaga ng press freedom na ipinaglalaban natin, ang halaga ng sinasabi nga ng The Jerks na kanta, we should rage against the dying of the light. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer the speech of Representative Arlene Brosas to the Rules Committee for its appropriate.
Referred to Committee on Rules.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize from the Bayan Muna Party List Representative Carlos Zarate for his manifestation.
Honorable Carlos Zarate from Bayan Muna Party List, recognize.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yamang din lang na mukhang naabandona na ng mga sponsors, ang panukalang batas na magbibigay sana ng provisional franchise sa ABS-CBN ay hindi ko na rin ma-cast yung aking yes vote doon sa House Bill number 6732, at ito ay nakakapanlumo dahil inaasahan natin na sa linggong ito sana ay maipasa na ito ng mababang kapulungan at may hatid na ito doon sa Senado para naman maaksyonan ito, at sa kagyat ay bumalik na sana sa ere ang ABS-CBN. Ginoong Speaker, prior to joining Congress, ako po ay isang mamamahayag at isa ring abogado by professions. As such, it is second nature for me to advocate for free speech, freedom of the press, and our people's access to information, especially now during these trying times of COVID-19 pandemic and the crisis na dala nito that affects our country and millions of our people. So napakalaki na magiging papel ng media rito in delivering to the public the current news and information necessary for our survival and in fact for our decision making as legislators and for our leaders to resolve the myriad issues that confront us every day. Kaya naman, gusto kong i-hammer uli that ang ABS-CBN is not just a simple station. Hindi ito usapin ng isang istasyon lang. Ang ABS-CBN undoubtedly is one of the leading broadcast network in our country. Sa napakaraming nitong istasyon sa buong kapuluan. At sa katunayan, nabanggit na rin ito ng aking mga kasamahan, lalong-lalo na nitong nakaraang bagyo, sila lang ang inaasahan ng mga impormasyon ng iba nating mga kababayan dahil yun lang ang nakakaabot at yun lang may istasyon sa kanilang lugar. So, in addition, nabanggit na rin ito ay malibo-libo ang umaasa ng mga manggagawa sa ABS-CBN. 11,000 kung umaasa rito, including yung mga dependents, probably ay marami pa sa kanyang continued existence. So, at nabanggit na rin kanina sa Senado na kung tuloy-tuloy na hindi babalik sa ere ang ABS-CBN, malamang sa darating na Agosto ay magtatanggal na sila ng mga empleyado at sasama na rin ito sa libo-libo o milyon-milyon nating mga mamamayan na walang trabaho dulot nitong nangyayaring krisis ngayon. Kaya Ginoong Speaker, noong nakaraang Enero, ang tinatawang ito kasama ang aking mga kasamahan sa mga kabayan block sa katotohanan ay nakain din kami ng isang panukalang batas para bigyan ng panibagong prangkisa ang ABS-CBN. At since then ay ating panawagan na sana ay marinig na ito, no? Magkaroon na ng pagdinig sa mababang kapulungan, lalong-lalo na sa Committee on Legislative Franchise. Now, be that as it may, no? Dahil nga wala na tayong asahan na isang provisional franchise para makabalik na sana ng kagyat sa area ang ABS-CBN, ang aking panawagan, no? Ang ating panawagan na at ito na rin ay inihayag kanina sa plenaryo ng ating kagalang-galang na speaker na madaliin na talaga ang pagdinig ng mga renewal bills sa ABS-CBN at kailangang bigyan natin ito ng sapat na panahon para hindi malagay sa alanganin ang lahat. No? Let not this continuing uncertainties, Mr. Speaker, be serve like a sword of Damocles, not only hanging over ABS-CBN, but as well to its employees and to the viewing public in general. Kailangang patunayan ng Kongresong ito to the public na tayo ang merong primary jurisdiction para resolbahin ang isyong ito. We have to be reminded, Mr. Speaker, that Congress' own inaction has vast implications and consequences that may prejudice our electorate and worse, even defeat our own powers and prerogatives in the future. So, again, Mr. Speaker, bilang panghuli, we must act urgently on this matter in the same manner that we have to act also urgently on the other pressing matters related to the crisis brought about by COVID-19 pandemic. We will all do this, Mr. Speaker, in the service of the Filipino people. Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Speaker, at magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the manifestation of the Honorable Carlos Zarate to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Referred to Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, for the last manifestation for today, I move that we recognize our Minority Leader, Representative Benny Abante from Manila.
The Great Minority Leader from Manila, Honorable Benny Abante is recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. Speaker. Pero nga po tayong kasabihan ng mga Batanggenyo na huli man daw at magaling, ay huli pa rin. Anyway, my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, I admire the honesty and decorum of our Speaker in his speech a while ago. While he was the one who sponsored House Bill 6732. Yet, he began to realize, Mr. Speaker, that he must give way to the rule of the majority. Maganda na po sana ang House Bill 6732. Natuwa ako noong ating Speaker mismo nag-sponsor noong Miyerkules. Nakakatuwa na wala pong anumang oposisyon. Nakakatuwa na kinonvene po natin ang buong Senado, ang buong Kongreso bilang isang Committee of the Whole. Nakakatuwa na ito po ay inaprubahan ng lahat ng mga congressman. Gayon din ang committee report. Gayon din po ang pagpasa sa first reading. Gayon din po ang second reading. Hanggang kahapon, Mr. Speaker, ay marami na po ang nagsalita. Sa aking pananaw, para bang nawala yung tibo sa aking dibdib habang ang issue ng ABS-CBN is hanging on the balance. Pero naintindihan ko ang ating speaker. Inunawa ko ang nais niyang sabihin. Sapagkat hindi lang pala tibo ang siyang nasa atin ngayon, kundi isang malaking sugat na hindi lang po kinakailangan sa emergency. Dapat na ito'y gamutin. Kinakailangan na po itong ilagay sa operating table. Kaya nga po, nung nalaman po namin na ito po ilalagay sa ating Committee on the Legislative Franchise, although this is the proper process, yet nagkaroon din po ako ng kaunting agam-agam at kaunting kalungkutan. Bakit po? Sapagkat sana ay na-resolve na natin at least ng 6 na buwan ang problema ng franchise ng ABS-CBN. At pagkatapos niyan ay ilalagay na natin ang ilang mga bills na final ng ating mga congressman, about 15 of them, upang ito'y bigyan na ng 25-year franchise. At pag-usapan na po ito ng magandang pag-uusap. I-scrutinize na po natin ito. At talagang mahilom na at gumaling na ang mga sugat ng mga nakaraang taon. Subalit, I still would like to accept and believe not only in the wisdom of the Speaker, but in the wisdom of the majority of congressmen that would like this measure to go back and be reverted to the Committee on Legislative Franchise. Mr. Speaker, naalala ko po itong nakalagay sa aklat ng Philippians, chapter 3. Gusto kong basahin ang verse number 8. Ito po ang sinasabi, finally, my brothers, my brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are right, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are admirable, if there is any virtue, and if there is any praise, think on these things. I would like to believe, Mr. Speaker, that this is the kind of character that the House of the people have. Binanggit po ni Speaker na hindi po moro-moro ang ginawa natin, na hindi tayo mag-aaksaya ng panahon, na mayroong mas mahalagang bagay na dapat natin pag-usapan, katulad ng economic stimulus plan na siyang principal authored by Joey Salceda and Stella Kimbo and Sharon Garin. Yung pong tinatawag nating ibang mga plano at mga bills na nakasalang upang ma-resolve na po natin ang issue ng COVID-19. Naniniwala po ako, Mr. Speaker, na talagang dapat nating unahin ito. Dapat po nating unahin ito. Subalit, naniniwala din po ako na para mawala na po ang tinatawag nating sword that is hanging over our heads, I hope that as soon as possible, the Committee on Franchise would immediately call for hearings. Kahit na po ito ay gawin natin ng mga ilang araw sa isang linggo at lahat ng mga kasama natin dito at mga kapatid ay makapagsalita at sabihin nila ang dapat nilang sabihin. And once and for all, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, let us resolve this issue that sometimes divide our nation and divide our people. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Maraming salamat, Minority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the manifestation of the Honorable Minority Leader Benny Abante, Representative Benny Abante, to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action. So
Referred to
moved, Mr.
Committee on Rules.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the session until tomorrow, Wednesday, 20th of May, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Session suspended until 20th of May 2020 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Belated picture. Belated picture.
Pare.
Halata naman.